Baldi. Baldi looks a bit like a neighbor, a pillar of the community even. He's a teacher who carries a ruler and resembles a friendly character in an educational flash game. Deceptively simple visually, with a low-quality render, he sports a neon green shirt, some jeans, and a single hair on top of his bald head. He comes from a 2018 horror game called Baldi's Basics in Education and Learning. Baldi has infinite stamina and a sprint speed of 74. Once he sets his sights on a player, he can keep after them until they're eliminated. His movement is a bit clunky though. He slides forward by slapping his ruler, and his speed directly correlates to how fast he can slap. One of his abilities allows him to issue an actual pop quiz. He can set a trap, known as the math ability, that, when triggered, delivers a math problem to a player's screen and a timer. If it's answered correctly, the player takes a mere 5 damage. If incorrect, the player takes a robust 40 damage. Each time the trap is triggered within a game, Baldi's speed increases. The cooldown for this ability is 11 seconds, meaning that Baldi can quickly accumulate speed. He can also disguise the noise of his movement with his anti-hearing tape ability, which places a loud tape recorder on the ground. The main strategies for thwarting Baldi are caution and real-life math skill, similar to surviving an encounter with any given math teacher. Jeffery Woods. Jeffery Woods will look wildly familiar to anyone who is on the internet between 2011 and 2015. He's better known by his creepypasta name, Jeff the Killer. Jeffery Woods was in an accident that gave him his pale skin, a wide, permanent smile, and a taste for first-degree murder. With his long black hair, lidless eyes, and knife-wielding, what he lacks in stature compared to some other monsters, he makes up for in sheer ferocity. His abilities include Silent Stalker, where he crouches to sneak up on victims, and Maniacal Haste, which boosts his speed and reduces stamina drain at the cost of constant laughter. While Silent Stalker allows for quick and stealthy approaches, survivors can still spot him if they're vigilant. Maniacal Haste, on the other hand, transforms him into a blur of speed, but the incessant laughter serves as a loudspeaker announcing his presence. To defeat Jeff, survivors should maintain awareness of his movements and listen for his laughter to provide crucial moments to evade or counterattack. Utilizing the environment to create obstacles or distractions can also disrupt his pursuit. In essence, outsmarting Jeff requires a balance of vigilance, strategy, and a strong stomach for his unsettling antics. Ao Oni. Ao Oni is a Japanese demon giant in a blueberry color, with the proportions of a baby and the face of a very old man. The character appears in his own game and is peppered into various pieces of Japanese media, always with the same inexplicable look on his face, like he wants a little of whatever you're eating. Despite his size and awkward body shape, Ao Oni is one of the stealthier villains on this list. He's fast, quiet, and tricky, with one objective: destroy. His Oni vision allows him to see the location of all living players. Be careful if Fuwadi, Ao Oni's son, is in the game alongside him, because Ao Oni can pick up his boy and chuck him at you. Ao Oni is also wanted in 4 states for identity theft. Not really, but he can turn into any player for a bit and drain their stamina by sprinting, use a fake flashlight, and slide. He can also fake doing tasks, so while using this ability, he's almost indistinguishable from players. The only way to figure out if a player is an imposter is to keep your distance until you've seen Ao Oni in his full purple glory, or watch the animations of each player, since Ao Oni can only use the default animation. Don't think you can check the map either. His purple border passive disguises who has died and who hasn't for the duration of the game. Despite looking a little like a baby, Ao Oni can trick and strategize like a wizened old master. MX. MX, in a similar vein, is an unsettling riff on everyone's favorite Italian plumber. With eyes hidden in shadow, gray skin, and disproportionately long teeth, MX is also the villain from his own creepypasta. On top of his warped face, MX is huge, thundering around the map like an absolute tank, but faster. He's more rectangular than his adorable inspiration, which adds to the intimidation. While MX runs a little faster than players when sprinting, he can't sprint for long, so you should be fine through keeping your distance. When battling this beast, players gain the ability to jump by pressing the spacebar. You'll receive a prompt indicating when to jump as a defense to his POW hop ability. Don't miss the window, or you'll be stunned for a second. Being landed on is an instant kill. If MX makes a kill, survivors are highlighted on the map and his cooldowns are reset. Charging Demise is the most terrifying among MX's moveset. He shoulder charges in a single direction, picking up and dragging any player caught in his path, dealing 5 damage per tick. When dodging this move, players should try to run left or right rather than directly away. Finally, MX has a long cooldown time, so players should save their stamina for escape once he starts to use abilities again. Most importantly, try not to panic, even if there's an enormous blue-collar Italian running at you. Springtrap. Anyone familiar with horror games will likely recognize this charming fellow immediately. Springtrap is a giant, dilapidated animatronic rabbit from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. The robot doubles as a suit, one that you can never take off. As one could probably guess by looking at the organic bloody tendons peeking through the extensive damage, the suit contains the corpse of one William Afton. Springtrap carries his trusty axe with him in the game. While it's possible for him to be separated from his weapon of choice, it's also easy for him to pick it back up. Try to keep him from regaining it. If he attacks with the axe in hand, he deals a whopping 40 damage. He can also throw it at you. During the game, Springtrap can use his Phantom Walk ability to float around in a cloud of smoke, which makes him faster and replenishes some stamina. If a player makes contact with him in this state, they become fearful. And I don't just mean they'll scream at their monitor. When fearful, a player sustains an extra 35 damage from attacks by all monsters, and they are highlighted on the map. With ventilation error, Springtrap gains back some stamina and is a little faster. Any players in his vicinity will hyperventilate and experience a flashing black screen for 11 seconds. The only way to prevent experiencing the hyperventilation effect is to stay distant from Springtrap whenever possible. Springtrap is not stealthy by any means. He's slow and loud. Keeping a decent distance should be relatively easy if you're paying attention. If he drops below 10 stamina, he plays an audio automatically. Escape will be easy, so players should use this to their advantage. The main strategies are to know your map and stay away. You don't want to be caught unaware with an axe flying at your head. Vapor. Vapor is a bright red, eyeless monster with a jaw that unhinges like a snake. He looks like he's visiting on vacation from the seventh circle of hell, and that's because he is. Vapor is an antagonist of a similarly named game, Vapor, a first-person shooter from 2015. He is very muscular, in his right arm and abs at least. He has to be. He doesn't have legs and has a bone fragment poking out where his left arm should be. Don't be fooled into thinking this makes Vapor any easier to beat. He floats around on a cloud of smoke and can set players on fire. The burning ability drains a player's HP by 4 points per second. It's possible to rid yourself of the fire by sliding, but act quickly. Players start burning after being caught in Vapor's scorching grip, which is about as pleasant as it sounds. After a brief charge, Vapor slams a fistful of hellfire onto an unlucky player, deals 20 damage, and, of course, sets them on fire. He can't sprint while charging scorching grip, so a player not cornered could make a quick getaway and avoid the heavy blow. While limited to his line of sight, Vapor is able to teleport to a new location using his demonic shift ability. Players will be given warning before he reappears, but he is mobile while teleporting. Players should look for black clouds of smoke and avoid them because they indicate where Vapor is about to reappear. What's worse is the Spider Skull henchmen. Using Spider Skull Summon, Vapor can use them to do his evil bidding. Anytime a player gets too close to Vapor, they'll latch on and blind the player, dealing 2 damage per half second. A player's teammate can mash E and pull the Spider Skull off. Otherwise, it'll do up to 30 damage to the player before dying and falling off. A player can either hide behind a closable door or fake out the monster before it lunges. Maybe I'm weird, but I'd still be neighbors with Vapor. Maybe he makes great banana bread. You never know. XE. XE is a colorful and sharp interpretation of our favorite ground rodent, and is the disowned son of Sonic XE from the original creepypasta of the same name. With glowing red lights in his eye sockets and covered in blood, XE corners and attacks players with a ferocity befitting his character design. XE is the 5th monster added to Pillar Chase, and has dozens of skins somehow more intimidating than the lanky purple original. In Pillar Chase, XE boasts a lot of abilities like You Can't Hide, Too Slow, and Thorny Grave. Players can beat XE using a few key strategies, other than sheer will and the power of friendship. Avoid heading down any dead ends. Thorny Grave is a trap XE can set that'll get you on the way out, and you'll be vulnerable until you can free yourself. Keep an eye on the floor as well, because XE can set those traps anywhere. You may fall victim to them if you're running around like a maniac. Finally, avoid hiding if you can. XE has the ability to see all survivors near him, so it's useless at best and disastrous at worst. But how bad could he be, really? Just look at that lovely smile. The Fogborn. The Fogborn is a tall, shadowy menace with long, sharp teeth and black, nearly empty eye sockets, originating from the Minecraft mod The Man from the Fog. He has just a pinprick of white in either eye socket like a predator's eyes in the dark. He thrives on sneaky tactics and has a flair for drama, appearing only during fog or storms like he's got his own special weather forecast. Today calls for light rain and a bog monster, which could cause traffic on Route 11. One of his creepier tricks is the foggy stare. He is immediately struck by lightning and enters chase mode, which regenerates his stamina. To make matters worse, in chase mode, he is locked onto whoever looked at him. All other players are darkened for 3.5 seconds. To counter this, survivors must master the art of awkward eye avoidance. Look down, look away, look anywhere but at his face. Things get worse when thunder warp comes into play. The Fogborn vanishes with a clap of thunder, and if you hear a second lightning strike, know that he's on his way. He becomes incredibly fast just before reappearing. And if you see storm clouds growing closer, time to run. As if that's not enough, the foggy stare ability refuels its stamina during chases, making escape feel more like cardio punishment. The best way to survive this foggy fiend is to avoid direct eye contact, stick close to teammates, and use terrain and obstacles to block its view. The Fogborn is terrifying, but with a little strategy and a healthy dose of fear-induced running, it's possible to live another foggy day. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more coverage of the freakiest things in games. Who's your favorite pillar chase monster to battle? Let us know below.